Hello everyone, and welcome to Leopard and Black Panther as totems. The reason there's actually two totems rolled into one here is that when you guys asked me to do a video about Black Panther, I thought, sure, that's going to be so easy. And then I started researching Black Panther. As it turns out, there's no actual species of Black Panther. Black Panthers are actually either all black leopards, all black jaguars, or the mythical all-black cougar that a lot of people in Florida believe is running around in the Everglades, but no one actually has physical evidence proving. So that left me with all-black leopard and all-black jaguar, and I had to make a command decision here, and since most of the cases that I ran into were all-black leopard, that's what I went with. So if you get to the end of this video and you're a Black Panther person and you're going, that doesn't really sound like me, it is entirely possible that your Black Panther is an all-black jaguar, in which case please feel free to contact me for a session and I will quite happily connect you with your black jaguar totem and explain to you exactly what it means for you to have black jaguar as a totem. For the rest of you guys, if you're a Black Panther person, keep in mind that first and foremost, or if you're a black leopard person, keep in mind that first and foremost you are a leopard person. So all of the characteristics I'm going to talk about throughout the video, and especially at the end that relate to just Black Panther, are on top of those already related to just being a leopard person in general. Also, I've changed my format just a little bit. I am using some notes this time to help me keep from forgetting some of the important things, since this is a pretty complicated video. So if you notice me looking down, I haven't suddenly developed stage fright. I'm just trying to come up with some additional ways to keep things clear and moving along smoothly. So here we go. Leopard people, you are such a paradox. I had a very difficult time doing this video because there are so many conflicting tendencies that somehow mesh to create this very amazing personality. So leopard people, just to give you an idea, you're very bold, but you're very reclusive. You're very adaptable, yet you prefer routine. You're a very deep thinker and feeler, and yet you keep all of those very deep thoughts and feelings very close to the vest, and nobody understands you. You also scare the heck out of a lot of people because you're very, very powerful and you don't say much, which means nobody can figure out what you're thinking. So leopard people, if you've been going, yes, nobody gets me, yeah, well, that's why. So leopards are extremely cunning hunters. They're able to use even the sparsest amount of cover to conceal themselves until it's time to strike. Which means if you're the prey, one moment you're thinking, oh, look at the beautiful sunshine, and the next you're meeting your maker. This means that leopard people really know how to get what they want. They know how to dress, how to move, when to speak, when not to speak, exactly what to say to get close to you. They have a fantastic sense of timing. So leopard people can actually become superior con men and thieves if they don't develop a guiding moral center that will encourage them to use these talents for good. This cunning nature and this quick striking speed also makes leopards and leopard people extremely dangerous. Leopard people know just where your weak spot is because they've been observing you. They know exactly what to say to get you to surrender. They can catch you completely unawares. They can ruin you if they choose. They aren't big talkers, but when they do speak, what they say is going to cut you right to the bone, and they don't believe in sugarcoating anything. So if you're looking at a career choice and you're a leopard person, leopard people make really great spies. They make really great private investigators. They make really great journalists. They also, in some cases, can be very good in the military, but it would have to be a branch of the military in which conformity is not as expected. They would have to have a lot of leeway to act on their own because leopard people really, really hate authority. So anything where you can sneak around and get as close to people as possible without revealing your presence, and if you are found out, you can use lethal force, good opportunities for leopard people. Now, part of being so cunning and so able to take down their prey the instant they decide to do so is that leopards are very patient. They will stay totally motionless for hours, if necessary, while they're stalking their prey. And when they do decide to move, it's just that little bitty forward creep. It's kind of like watching your house cat pouncing on something, but in very slow motion. So for leopard people, this translates into really being very patient, really paying attention to the details, waiting for the exact right moment to pounce on what they want. You can't rush these people. So if you're a leopard person who's having trouble getting what you want, leopard wants you to learn how to slow down. Really take things one step at a time. Leopards make huge leaps, but they're calculated ones. These aren't typically spontaneous people. It may look spontaneous to an outsider, but chances are the leopard person has thought it through pretty thoroughly, and it's something they've probably been thinking about for quite some time. Now, leopards are one of the most, if not the most, adaptable big cats on Earth. They inhabit just about every environment. So you find them in the desert, in the mountain, in the forest, bamboo thickets, pines. They will even stalk right through villages. Again, they're very bold. They will also eat anything. You give the leopard a watermelon, it will eat the watermelon. You give the leopard a person, it will happily eat you. So leopard people are very adaptable. They have pretty basic needs, and if their needs are met, they're happy. Change comes easier to them than to a lot of other people. They're very flexible thinkers. They're problem solvers. They're open to all sorts of adventure and experience. Changing jobs or cities isn't a problem for them. That being said, leopards use very specific pathways when hunting, and they like to use the same tree in which to store their food. Leopards will haul a carcass up a tree and then leave it up there for later munching where nobody can bother them. So they're able to live anywhere and survive on any kind of prey, but they develop a routine wherever they are. And so leopard people, while you're capable of being flexible, you really prefer ritual. You like the comfort of knowing what you're going to do each day and where you're going to be. So a leopard person might be totally happy going to a very wild and crazy bar where they will sit in the corner and observe everybody. But they're going to go to the same wild and crazy bar every single night. Now the problem here is that leopards can get so comfortable in their home territory that they put themselves in danger by being overconfident. Leopards in the wild are really easily baited and poisoned and shot because it's so easy to spot the leopard. At noon, there goes the leopard walking down that pathway, so everybody knows where he's going to be. So for leopard people, you want to really pay attention and make sure you don't get too complacent. So don't get so comfortable at work that you ignore the office chatter that says that somebody might be getting the promotion instead of you. Or don't get so complacent in your relationship that you just figure, she sounds irritated this week, but it'll blow over. This is not to say you have to be on high alert all the time, but it means you really need to observe the little details going on around in your environment. And pay attention to them so that when your higher self starts flashing that warning light, you can go, maybe I need to take some steps to check things out here and make sure everything is copacetic. Leopard people can see all the details, but they have to actually be looking for them. Leopards are primarily arboreal, and that means they spend most of their time in trees. In fact, of all the great cats, they spend the most time in trees. This gives them a great advantage to study everything that is going on around them. So again, they can see the big picture and all the little details, which is why they're always watching you and cataloging all your weaknesses. And leopard people are very, very dangerous enemies to have. Again, they know everything about you because they have been paying attention. Now, you live in a tree, you got to be able to climb. And leopards have a ton of strength and a ton of balance. And a lot of researchers have actually compared the intelligence of leopards to that of dolphins or great apes, because you've got to be intelligent to know which branches are going to hold you, how far you can jump, how fast you can climb. So leopard people are typically extremely intelligent. Yes, you smart cookies, you. And you also tend to be very strong physically, very aware of your athleticism, your balance. These people are really great athletes. But while leopards are really strong and really fast, they tend to put all of their energy into these very big bursts, like hauling that 300-pound carcass up a tree, after which they're not going to do anything the rest of the day. So leopard people, you need to pace yourself. Either spread your energy out over a task, or if you're going to put it all in one big burst, make sure it's something important, because you're not going to have any energy the rest of the day. As an example, these are the kind of people who can bench press a car at the gym in the morning and run a marathon easily. Feel totally great, but the rest of the day they're going to be useless. So this may be somebody who is an excessive athlete in the morning and then works a day job where they just sit behind a desk all day. This was me when leopard first came into my life. I was in the morning in the gym lifting like crazy, running 8 miles, no problem, I felt great. But the rest of the day, the hardest thing that I would do is lay on the bed and read. Now, leopards don't just hang out in trees. This is where they do everything. They mate, sleep, eat, stalk prey. And again, you have to be really confident in your body to be able to do this. And so fully realized leopard people, people who really learn what leopard has to teach, are very confident and they trust themselves. And behavior that looks risky to other people is really just par for the course with them. They make risk look easy. And this is largely because, despite all appearances, they're actually extremely grounded people. Leopards have that long tail. When we have creatures that have very long tails, it relates to the base chakra, to being very grounded. So these are really clear thinkers. They know what they're doing when they leap off that tree. So if you're a leopard person and you're constantly berating yourself for wanting to take risks or feeling like you have to be wrong and thinking that you can do something that other people can't, stop. You are meant to be a risk taker. And you can probably handle whatever it is you want to do just fine, irregardless of whether or not anybody else has fallen on their faces while trying it. That being said, and this is calculated risk. So, for example, leopards go through great lengths to avoid predators like lions and tigers because they know they don't have a chance against them. Leopards are, again, calculated risk takers. If we had keywords for leopards, that would be it. So they're confident, but they're not stupid. So leopard people, along with knowing that you can really handle a lot of risk, is trusting your intuition to tell you when you can't. Don't rely on logic here. The reason leopard people can safely take risks is because they have felt their way through the situation and they've relied on their innate knowing. So if logic says one thing and intuition says another, a mature leopard person is going to know absolutely to trust their intuition. So if someone who poses a threat to them shows up, a mature leopard person is more likely to just melt into the background and pretend that person doesn't exist, go to a safe place, rather than challenge them, even if it looks on the surface that they could come out on top. So as far as hunting, leopards hunt through vision and sound. So their night vision is 7 times better than a human's, even though they can see well in the day too. And their eyes are huge compared to their heads. So they have very good binocular vision, which is the ability to accurately judge how far away something is, which you need if you're going to pounce and land on the thing in a way that enables you to kill it right that moment. So this allows leopard people to have an extremely good grasp of both the details and the big picture, as I've mentioned. It also gives them a tendency towards clairvoyance, which is psychic vision. So if you're clairvoyant, you might have psychic visions and dreams, or you receive a lot of your guidance from the universe through things that you can see. So certain pictures or videos or features in the environment will snag your attention, and then they'll wind up being really important for you. Now, leopard's hearing is also 5 times better than a human's. So this makes them clairaudient. So they'll likely hear the truth behind someone's lies. They will receive a lot of guidance through things they can hear, so sounds and songs and spoken words and dreams, waking life, again, anything coming through sound. So, like, I'm very, very clairaudient. So I'll hear a song in my dreams, and then when I wake up in the morning and turn on the radio, that's the first song that's on the radio, and it'll turn out to be very important for what's going on with me at the time. Or I will actually hear words from my guides that end up being very important. Yes, I did used to wonder if I was crazy, so if this is you, no, for the most part, hopefully you're not crazy. It's just you've got the volume turned up, so you're actually hearing your guides when they're talking to you. Now, leopards will eat anything they can catch, even carrion, but they have a special fondness for puppy dogs. So in some cases, when one animal eats another as prey, it translates to a rejection of those things that the prey animal represents. So dogs are often linked to blind loyalty, to obedience, to domesticity, and these are all things that leopard people vehemently resist. Leopard people will refuse as much as possible to obey anybody. They want to be their own person in every way. And while they can see the value in loyalty, it isn't something that they're going to give unless it is consistently earned. So leopard people would also never be called domesticated. There is always a wildness to them, an untamed aspect that really wants to be able to do some naughty things now and again, especially you Black Panther people. Now, in addition to the puppy dogs, leopards do have another food they enjoy, which is us. Once they start eating it, they can't stop. In fact, they actually have a lot of records of leopards who have become man-eaters. I read one horrifying statistic about a leopard that supposedly ate over 400 people. And they will actually break into huts to grab you once they have developed a taste for man. They become selective about their prey. They don't want anything else. So, leopard people, you can get obsessive when you get a taste of something you want. And you can become so overwhelmed with the need for this thing that you totally stop listening to your intuition, and you can get yourself into huge trouble. So leopard people are known for taking risks, but there's a definite line between taking a well-considered leap of faith and diving headfirst over a cliff into a pit filled with sharp rocks and rattlesnakes. So if you're a leopard person and you find you are absolutely so consumed with wanting something that you can't stop and think about anything else, you have got to find a way to step back and reevaluate the situation before you get yourself into trouble. Now, leopards communicate with each other primarily through olfactory and visual signals using the white tips of their ears and tail. So regular spotted leopard people, first off, you're extremely good at interpreting body language. You're probably very sensitive to visual cues. But leopard people in general, you guys aren't all that chatty. You're okay with the kind of basic conversation needed to function from day to day, but you really prefer your own company. You're not the type of people who want to hang out in big social gatherings for the most part. Now, Black Panther people, you guys don't have the little ear tips and the little tail tip. You only have the black. And so there's a big danger of feeling like you're isolated, where you don't think anybody understands you and you're a loner all the time. It's like you lack the ability to communicate with others. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing. Remember, we all have a multitude of totems. So when you are feeling especially close to Black Panther, when Black Panther is the totem that means the most to you, right now you're probably supposed to be isolated. There are a lot of lessons to be learned from being silent and being on our own. When you're supposed to become a social butterfly again, if you are, then another totem will show up that will happily take you out dancing in the streets with a whole bunch of other people. So don't worry. If you're feeling really introverted right now and you want to be on your own, that's just fine. Now, as I just mentioned, leopards are solitary. They're very secretive. They don't hang out with other leopards in general. So spotted leopards and Black Panthers, you guys, again, not big group people. And leopards in the wild do not like being with other leopards. So leopard people, you're secretive. You don't let anybody in. You don't want to show your weaknesses or reveal your tricks if you can help it, because this is part of what helps you be so successful, is you can sneak up on people and surprise them. You don't want people to be able to anticipate you. You're also very territorial, just like leopards. And you want to be able to come and go as you please and do what you like. And so this means that for you leopard people, romance can be a really big power struggle. You don't want to feel like you don't have control, and you don't necessarily like sharing your private life with someone else. It feels dangerous to let them in, to feel vulnerable. So for this reason, if you are a leopard woman, a lot of leopard women also wind up being single mommies. This is also true for lynx women, a lot of big cats. You also tend to have been raised in a house where daddy wasn't overly present and mommy really had to do all the caretaking, whether or not she was happy about it. So keep in mind, if this is you, if you do wind up being a single mom, yes, it's hard. It really is, and my heart goes out to you. But please know that you are strong enough to handle it. You were built to do this job, and you're going to rock it. So let's talk for a minute about Black Panther specifically. Black Panther people, as I said, are going to have most of the characteristics of leopard, unless you're an all-black jaguar person, in which case, again, please call me, we'll talk. But there are a few things unique to Black Panthers. So a Black Panther person who hasn't made peace with the Panther part of their journey is, again, probably going to feel isolated, that nobody understands them. They will have a hard time expressing themselves. And this is also because people tend to be afraid of them. People who are quiet tend to frighten others, again, because nobody knows what you're thinking, and that scares us. Black Panther people are able to explore very deep themes, the inner fears and darker, baser needs that most people want to keep hidden in the shadows. Fully realized Black Panther people, meaning people who've begun to work through the lessons that Black Panther teaches. They don't live in denial like other people. They are fully in and immersed in the truth of the soul and all of its darkness, and they're fully aware of people's baser natures. Baser does not necessarily mean horrible, awful things. But again, the things that maybe we don't like to talk about, you know, like sexual desires. Oh my God, let's not bring that up. So people who are comfortable exploring this stuff scare the heck out of everybody who isn't, especially, you know, those prudes or people who are very proper or concerned with avoiding sinful behavior. Black Panther person, if you drop them in a really moralistic, tight-knit, prudish society, Black Panther's going to scare the heck out of those poor people. So once Black Panther people learn to accept their differences and really value their ability to look at the darker side of human nature and to see the inner workings of others, this gives them a lot of power, and it actually gives them the ability to take other people apart from the inside out, another very scary thing. It makes them compassionate listeners because they can understand everything going on inside a person. But it can also make them superior manipulators if used for less than honest purposes. Because again, when Black Panther's watching you, he is seeing all of you and all of your secrets as well. So being a Black Panther person means that part of your life path is going to be about rummaging through all the darkness inside yourself first. Can't understand anybody else until you understand you completely. So you got to look at all your shadows, all your fears. You're going to have to conquer them. Sometimes this is really hard. I went through several years where every single day I was confronted with all of my deepest fears and having to work through those. And it was like one endless, miserable panic attack. But the things I learned from it and the strength I got from it and the power were just incredible. So Black Panther people, part of your journey is going to involve facing your fears. And you can do it, I promise. It isn't easy, but we're all built for it. You have just as much ability as anybody else. Now, part of the journey, too, in becoming a Black Panther person who is mature, again, you've learned the lessons, is you stop keeping secrets from yourself. So not only are you facing those fears, but you allow your inner self to speak with you always. And you learn that that is the most valuable thing, not logic, not anything anybody else says. And once you do that, you stop judging yourself, which gives you limitless power. We can do anything if we're not afraid of what other people are going to think and just let our hearts tell us what to do. And so once you do that, you end up being who you're really supposed to be, which is usually a very wild, unapologetic, and very sensual person who really helps other people learn to be, you know, a little wilder, walk on the wild side a little more. So, my darlings, I hope this has helped you to understand a little more about Black Panther and Leopard. Again, Black Panther as all black leopard. If you have any questions and would like to schedule a session with me to better understand these totems or any other totem, or if you are in need of physical, emotional, mental healing, or just simply guidance on your life path, how to get from where you are to where you want to be, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me at my website, which is www.ravenlightholistic.com. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Google+, or you can message me here on YouTube. Sometimes that happens with more success than others, so if one route fails, and go to the website, you can get my email there. You darlings have a wonderful day. It has been a pleasure as always. Cheers.